Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Talking Football, covering everything happening in the European major leagues, and there's so much to talk about. I'm joined in the studio by our football analysts, Yoav Borovic and Michael Friedman, and we'll talk of Barcelona, who once again had to struggle for the win. Juventus are going through a terrible start to their season, and despite the promises, the big money took De Bruyne away from Wolfsburg. All this and much more coming up. Let's get started. We begin in Spain, and Real Madrid was perhaps feeling some pressure following their goalless draw last week. Betis seemed to be the perfect opponent for the first home match. The Merengues cruised to a 5-0 victory. You have maybe the best news for Real Madrid is the fact that they look great, and Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't score, so everything's all right at the end of the day.
We saw big performances from James Rodriguez, Gareth Bale, Karim Benzema. It is very important for Real Madrid that those people, all the other stars, the others, will be great.
And feel satisfied in a team controlled by Ronaldo.
True, but it is not enough if Ronaldo is not great, because this team needs Ronaldo to be at his best and also the rest of them if they want to win the Spanish Championship and the European Championship. Anything less than those two trophies is a failure in Real Madrid. It's very, very simple. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo did not start the season like we're used to see Cristiano Ronaldo. He's over 30 now. You know, he might be past his prime or he might be still within his prime. We don't know that yet. And it's going to be very interesting to follow Real Madrid this season and to see how big Cristiano Ronaldo is. But in the same time, how big are Benzema, Bale, and James Rodriguez, the three superstars that around him.
And Michael, Yoav mentions Gareth Bale. You saw him here a few months ago in Haifa, destroying the Israeli national team. Now they face him again this coming Sunday, this time in Cardiff. A bit scary, I would say.
He was in great form when he came to Israel. Looks like he's in the same fantastic shape. You know, scoring these goals is what he does. So for Israel, definitely something to be scared of. He's at home. He's going to be in front of all of his crowd, all the fans, and the whole hopes of Wales is on his shoulders. Who are a team, a country that's trying to go out, you know, on top. So this player is remarkable, and we'll hopefully see more from him in the future.
Yeah, and they look to be en route to Euro 2016 Wales. Now to Barcelona, who go to the break with 2 wins out of 2 matches, but not in the best mood. Once again, they had a very difficult win. Thomas Vermeulen was the hero for the team from Catalonia, scoring the only goal in their home match against Malaga. You have Barcelona was the better side. They deserved the win. And yet, last season, at least in the second part of the last season, it went very easy. Now, at least in the first 2 matches, it's hard. On the other hand, just like Real Madrid, they can win 5-0 in the next match, and then everything we say now is useless.
Yes, Barcelona is still the strongest team because they won the treble, but we also get a sense that something is stuck there. You know, Leo Messi not scoring in 2 consecutive league games is almost unprecedented. Neymar didn't score. Suarez scored in the first game, and now they got a goal from Thomas Vermeulen, the center back. But still, you know, they won. They got the 6 points. They're leading Real Madrid by 2 points. This is important because every point counts in the Spanish La Liga. But looking at Barcelona at the beginning of the season, it still seems maybe they need another big player in the midfield. Maybe they need something more.
And they can't bring another player till January.
True. And also, a lot of people say they need a striker, but you know, the 3 strikers that they have scored over 120 goals last season. So Barcelona is still in a very good place, but you know, for them to be good, you need Messi and Neymar have to be good. You know, it doesn't work. If they're not at their best, they're not scoring goals, Barcelona will be struggling always.
Yeah, that's a secret in Barcelona. Here are all the results from this weekend in Spain. And apart from Barcelona, 3 other teams also won their first 2 matches. 2 of them are rather surprising. Celta Vigo and Eibar topped the standings in La Liga with 6 points and the same goal difference. The team from Galicia beat Rayo Vallecano 3-0, and in the derby of the Basque Country, Eibar beat Athletic Bilbao 2-0. The other team, who is 2 out of 2, is Atletico Madrid with their impressive 3-0 win in Seville. Now to Italy, where Juventus are hoping to clinch a 5th consecutive championship, a task that has become somewhat harder after the Bianconeri lost their first 2 matches. Last night, they lost away to Roma, who was their biggest rival in the past few years, and Juve's manager, Massimo Allegri, knows his team was simply not good enough.
Today we seemed a little timid when facing a very good Roma. They deserved to win, even if at the end we had some chances to draw. But that's not enough, because Juventus must do a lot more than this.
Yoav, losing to Roma away is something Juventus can live with. Being by far the inferior side and having 0 points from the first two matches, that's another story.
Yes, because they lost the first game to Fiorentina of Paulo Sousa. You know, nobody expects, we're talking about Real, about Barca, but Juventus winning last year, the championship, the Scudetto, so easily, and winning a few times in the last few years and making it to the Champions League final, we think Juventus is above and beyond the Italian league. But not so fast, because we have Roma, a very strong team. Roma just brought in a lot of great players. They've been doing it for the last 2-3 years now, and it gets better and better with the American ownership. We have Fiorentina that got stronger. Milan cannot be as bad as they used to be. They're trying to get back. So, you know, it's probably not a walk in the park like it used to be for Juve. Juve also lost some players. They lost Arturo Vidal, which is very, very important, and they lost Carlitos Tevez. You know, not having their main striker, not having their main midfielder, it's not the same team. And also lost Pirlo, of course.
And Michael, Yoav mentions the players that went, the two South American stars, Vidal and Tevez. Mandzukic came in, Dybala came in. Maybe they're not good enough to replace these two.
They need big stars. Juventus was thriving last year with the big names. So it's important for them to be able to get those players strong and fighting for the championship, because ultimately each year they're going to have more and more players and people looking at them, big targets on their back. So Juventus, it's a big matchup. You know, Roma took a hand to them, so it was a big wake-up call for them.
And that's going to be very interesting to see how Juventus comes back from the break. Let's now take a look at all of the results from the Serie A, where Milan got their first points of the season after beating Empoli 2-1 at the San Siro. Newcomers Carlos Bacca and Luis Adriano scoring for the Rossoneri. The most surprising result came from Verona, where Chievo beat Lazio 4-0. Gonzalo Higuain scored twice in the first half to give Napoli a 2-0 lead, only to see Eder do the same after the break, and Sampdoria walked away with a point. Now to Germany and to the story that made us realize, once again, that it's really all about the money. Wolfsburg were perhaps the nicest team to watch last season in the Bundesliga. They came in second, won the German Cup, and recently beat Bayern Munich in the German Super Cup. Despite the offers that came in during the summer, they vowed to keep their squad, including big star Kevin De Bruyne. But as the transfer deadline approached and the money offer just kept going up, they could not stand the temptation, and De Bruyne is now a Manchester City player. Michael Friedman with a story.
The Bundesliga lost another big star as Kevin De Bruyne made a move from Wolfsburg to Manchester City. Despite the 2014-2015 Bundesliga runner-ups hoping of improving from their previous success, they could not say no to the sum of more than 72 million euros that City delivered. The 24-year-old attacking midfielder has excelled in Germany and will be making his return to England after not finding success with Chelsea. But the Belgium international has high hopes after being a leader at Wolfsburg.
I want to reach the highest level possible as a player, and I think the most important thing is that at the end of the season we can be happy and maybe have some titles. I think this is most important for the club, the players, and for the fans, of course.
De Bruyne made 51 appearances for Wolfsburg last season, scoring 16 times and helping his team to the German Super Cup. The striker sat in the stands on Friday and then flew on a private jet to England. But Wolfsburg managed to succeed without De Bruyne after winning 3-0 against Schalke to remain unbeaten. With goals from Bastos, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Tim Klose, it appears the Wolves can find the net without De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne will be joining a star-packed City squad including David Silva, Raheem Sterling, and plenty others who hope to win the Premier League title. And as Manchester City continues to succeed in the league, it is crucial for De Bruyne to make an impact straight away.
Yeah, the question is, these clubs like Wolfsburg, they seem to be basically breeding grounds for bigger clubs. The same could be said for bigger clubs like Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham. If you're good in these clubs, it's like an academy for a bigger club. They'll pay and take you.
Yeah, that's the food chain of world football. Very simple, you know. Wolfsburg, they have money, they have the Volkswagen money, they have their fans. but it's not a huge club. Now, when they have a superstar, this superstar will be going. And Kevin De Bruyne, you know, when they get offers for 75, 80 million euros.
For a player that had one decent season.
Yeah, he had one good season, very good season. He was very good in Belgium when he was a youngster. He didn't succeed in Chelsea. But it's a tremendous amount of money. Now, when you get it, you don't want to sell the guy, but you have to sell the guy. The guy also doesn't want to play for you anymore because he'll be making huge money in Manchester City. So this is the reality. They also they sold Perisic. I think they will buy some new players. And I'm sure they're not happy about what happened, but what happened is not very bad for them because they just got a lot of money.
100 million euros, we should say, for these nearly 100 million euros for Perisic and for De Bruyne. A lot of money.
If you have good scouting, you can buy a lot of talent for this money.
And now Michael, a question that we may ask is what's Manchester City? Where are they going to play him? There's Aguero, there's Sterling. But on the other hand, we're hearing that some teammates are very happy that De Bruyne is coming.
Absolutely. One Belgium teammate has a lot of support for his countryman and is ecstatic for this addition. The Guardian headlines read, Vincent Kompany hails City signing Kevin De Bruyne as a game changer. You know, so Vincent Kompany, the two of them have played together in Belgium, so this is something special for them to be together again. And the new manager also has plenty of faith in this new signing. He said, I have no doubt he will be a big success. But not everyone is thinking this. Not everyone believes that he is worth every penny. The Independent headlines raise the question, why did Manchester City put such a high value on a player Chelsea rejected? So after failing in England once, what is he going to do this time to prove himself to be the best player? You know, this is a lot of money, a lot of respect. So what's going to be in City that Chelsea couldn't do?
Where will he fit in Manchester City?
First of all, in Chelsea, I don't think he played enough. Or he got enough opportunities
only played 3 matches
to say that he failed. You know, he didn't get along with Mourinho. He got off. You know, it ended up so much better for him. Not for Chelsea, I think, although Chelsea won a championship. In City, it's going to be very difficult because City, when you look at them now, it seems like they're picture perfect. You don't need any more additions. But, you know, there's always some players will be missing in the future. Their injuries. They got Nicolas Otamendi and the back. They got De Bruyne. But it's going to be very hard. If I'm Manuel Pellegrini now, De Bruyne does not start because I let my guys continue to play terrific as they do. And I use De Bruyne could be an ace from the bench.
If it's not broken, you don't fix it. Right now, they're doing perfect, so why change anything?
Why change it? It's a big change.
Yeah, that's a story definitely.
And you know what? I don't think he deserves this money. I think it's way too much to pay for De Bruyne.
I think a lot of people do that. We'll definitely follow this story once the break finishes. Now let's take a look at all the results from this weekend in the Bundesliga. It's a good season so far for FC Köln. They have 7 points out of 9 after beating Hamburg 2-1 at home. And we can find 2 familiar names at the top. The only 2 teams with a perfect record after 3 matches. One is Bayern Munich, who win at home against Bayer Leverkusen 3-0. The other is Borussia Dortmund, who look great so far under Thomas Tuchel this weekend, leaving Hertha Berlin behind, winning 3-1 at the Westfalenstadion. Yoav, we expected Bayern Munich up there to find Dortmund not only with 3 wins, but with the same goal difference as Bayern Munich. Says a lot. And again, we say what we have said 2 weeks ago, a week ago. There is a very, very good squad here. If they're fit, if they're healthy, this is a team that can go far.
Yes, for sure. Tuchel is, so far he had a great start there. They're playing a possession game as opposed to more of a counter-attack game under Klopp. And they just seem loaded, and they seem very, very confident going up, and attacking. We saw it also against a Norwegian team in the Europa League. They scored something like 11 or 12 goals in 2 games. Kagawa got back to his former self before moving to Manchester United. Aubameyang, Marco Reus, Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, just a lot of very, very good players in Dortmund.
And one question I have to ask you, Michael. We saw Marco Reus. He had an offer to go to Bayern Munich. He said no. But if Mkhitaryan or Aubameyang or Gundogan, all these players, if they have a very good season, then one of the Bayern Munichs or Manchester Cities or someone else will eventually put an offer.
It'll be hard for them to keep the same squad that they have right now. The amount of players, them doing well. If Aubameyang does well as he did last season, it's going to be a huge target. Bayern will look for him, another team in England. So it's special to see Dortmund keeping the players from last season, but this coming year, who knows what will be, who's going to go. It all depends.
You need some very special personalities, because look at Marco Reus, you know, the superstar in German football. He can go wherever he wants. He can go to Bayern Munich. He can go to almost any club in England. He can be making more money, but he stays, unlike Götze, unlike Lewandowski, two superstars who left to Bayern, you know. Mats Hummels, you know, Manchester United won them for a few years now, but he still stays.
It's loyalty.
So it's, at the end of the day, it's loyalty, but also it's the way you feel. You know, Marco Reus feels at home in Dortmund. He's from there. He's a superstar there. He succeeds there. He's not just money hungry.
So
but most of the players
they are. And if,
of course.
If a big offer comes,
and if the gap is too big, they will go.
Leave. Yoav Borovich, Michael Friedman, thank you very much for joining us. And that's it for the Monday edition. Join us again tomorrow to look at the Premier League and the French League. Till then, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.